Welcome to Savvy Selections Personal Growth. Don't forget to follow us so you'll always be the first to know when we release new and exciting content.
All right, let's dive right in. To build our blueprint for the future, we first have to get real about the pressures of today. So let's talk about what feels like a collective pressure cooker we're all living in.
So, I've got to ask, does this question hit home for you? If you feel like you're stretched thin, maybe constantly on high alert, you're not alone. That's become the shared experience for so many of us. And you know what? It's not just a feeling, it's something we can actually measure.
Yeah, this feeling is backed by some serious data. Recent studies from Canada show that a whopping 42% of people are reporting higher anxiety, and they're linking it directly to the political and economic landscape. This isn't just background noise, it's having a real impact on our well-being.
So, what's feeding this anxiety? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm of modern stress. We're coming out of the burnout era, right? That whole hustle culture thing that just left everyone exhausted. Then we've got the hybrid work paradox, which is great for flexibility, but can also be super isolating. And that's led to this thing called digital presentism, that pressure to be online 24/7, which has jumped by 18%. And all of this is playing out against a backdrop of economic uncertainty that just won't quit.
Okay, but understanding the problem is just the start. This is all about solutions. So let's get into our first tool for building resilience. This one is all about managing our inner world and flipping the script on stress.
The first big idea here is something called emotional alchemy. Now, this isn't about pushing down those tough emotions. No way. It's about changing them. It's learning how to take the raw energy of feelings like anxiety or frustration and consciously channel that power into something useful, something productive.
This quote, which is inspired by the entrepreneur Mark Cuban, just nails it. Think about that intense frustration you might feel about a dead-end job. The whole key is to use that fire not to burn yourself out, but to fuel the actual action you need to make a change. It's powerful stuff. So how do we actually do this? Well, cognitive behavioral therapy gives us a really practical 3-step method. First up, cognitive restructuring. You've got to challenge the thoughts that are pouring gas on the fire. Is that story you're telling yourself 100% true? Second, rate your anger on a scale from 1 to 10. Just doing that simple act gives you a moment of self-awareness and stops you from going 0 to 60. And finally, strategically redirect that energy. Pour it into a workout or maybe a project that actually gets you closer to where you want to be. Okay, so we've worked on our inner world. Now for tool number 2, we're going to shift our focus to our external environment. This is all about using our physical space to give our nervous system a complete and total reset. Let's talk about Shinrin-yoku, which you might know as forest bathing. This actually started in Japan back in the 80s as a national health program to fight burnout. And it's not about hiking or exercise, it's way simpler. It's just the mindful act of soaking in nature with all your senses. And today, it's a legitimate science-backed field called forest medicine. And the science behind it is just incredible. Let's do a quick fire round of the data. First off, we see a 21.3% drop in cortisol. That's your body's main stress hormone for every hour you spend in a forest. That's huge. Next, get this, a 50% boost in the activity of your immune system's natural killer cells. These are the frontline soldiers that fight off viruses and tumors. So you're not just getting calmer, you're getting physically stronger. And finally, a big Nature Pills study by Hunter and her colleagues at the University of Michigan found that just 20 to 30 minutes in nature can slash biomarkers for anxiety by 28%. The takeaway here is pretty clear. This is a super low-cost, high-impact prescription for your mental health. Now, you might be thinking, okay, isn't this just a digital detox? And that's a great question, but they're actually very different. A detox is all about deprivation, taking away the screens, which for a lot of us can actually cause more anxiety. Forest bathing, on the other hand, is an enrichment model. You're replacing all that overwhelming artificial noise with grounding, natural information. It's way more sustainable and honestly, way more enjoyable. So we've covered our inner world, we've covered our physical world. For our third and final tool, we're going to focus on where those two things meet. We're talking about building a fortress of personal boundaries. And trust me, this is not just some niche self-help idea anymore. We are in the middle of a massive cultural shift. A staggering 65% of professionals now say they feel empowered to say no to extra tasks to protect their own well-being. The days of saying yes to everything are officially over. This sense of empowerment is all part of an evolution from quiet quitting. Remember that whole thing? Quiet quitting was about checking out, doing the bare minimum. But now, a much more proactive strategy is taking its place: quiet thriving. And this isn't about disconnecting. It's about reconnecting with your job, but on your own terms. At its core, quiet thriving is a strategy for being resilient in a pretty volatile economy. It's about finding ways to get fulfillment right where you are while fiercely, and I mean fiercely, protecting your time, your energy, and your mental health with really strong boundaries. It's proactive, not passive.
Okay, let's bring it all home. We have looked at 3 incredibly powerful tools. Now let's put them all together into a single, cohesive blueprint that you can literally start using today. So here it is, your 3-part toolkit for thriving in 2025. Number 1, use emotional alchemy to turn your stress into your strength. Number 2, use forest bathing, nature's medicine, to reset your entire system. And number 3, use quiet thriving to build your personal fortress of boundaries. Look, this isn't just about learning cool new concepts. It's about actually doing something. So looking at these 3 tools, what's the first one you're going to use? What's going to be your first step to building your own resilience? Thank you for watching, and remember to hit that like button and don't forget to follow us so you'll always be the first to know when we release new and exciting content. We'll see you in the next video.